My name is Ludmila. I moved here, I want to say a little bit over 3 years ago from Toronto. I'm originally from Moldova. I moved to Canada when I was 5 years old. I lived there for the majority of my life. About 5 years ago, I realized that I hated Canada. The weather is gross. It's cold all the time. It's freezing. Half the year, you're stuck in your house. There's nothing to do. It's just not great. The food is okay. We got a lot of diversity, so like there's a lot of things that you can eat, but it's not great. Like compared to here, it's nothing. And just in general, like the lifestyle just didn't seem like something that I related to. So 3.5 years ago, my brother, he is a professional swimmer. He got invited to train here at the Olympic Center. And he was like, hey, do you want to come with me? We were stuck inside again. It was one of those winters. So I decided, why not? I've never been to Europe or Greece in general. So we came here for 4 months and I simply just fell in love with everything, with, the weather, which is insane. Like it's warm for I don't know how many months out of year. Like you could go swimming in September and further down, or you can already start swimming in May if you want. Like honestly, like and even being an hour away from the beach is like I don't think people here realize that an hour away from the beach is very, very nice because you can just go there in the morning, have a swim, go do your stuff, or go have a swim in the middle of the day. Anyways, they've got it very, very nice over here, I think. And so I fell in love with it and I started to see if I could possibly get a student visa because at the time I was told that was the easiest way to come here. So I did that, got scammed a little bit, which is, as I have now understood, is kind of a normal thing when you're trying to migrate somewhere. And met my boyfriend and just ended up staying here for 3.5 years now. And honestly, like it's been such a huge change, but I honestly like would never go back to Toronto. Like I have constantly friends, people asking me to come and visit and like, you know, birthday parties and weddings and everything. And I'm just like, unless you come here, I have no reason to go there. I have everything here. What's the reason of me going there? So it's been great for me personally so far. My family came to join me. My mom and my brothers and my sister sold everything in Canada, sold their family house, and came here a year after I did. So it's been great. We've been here all together ever since. Um, I want to say one of my biggest culture shocks so far, even from the very beginning for me, was the lack of like personal space that everybody gives here. Like for me, it was kind of crazy because I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in Canada and Toronto in general, like if you are near someone, it's just weird. Like you cannot be too close to someone because you're going to be considered a weirdo. Like if you go into the metro and there's somebody in the metro car, you need to go to the next metro car because if you sit in the same one, like you got some weird motives, like you're going to do something weird. And we were here in June, and obviously it's, peak season. There's lots of tourists, lots of Greeks, everybody's out. And I was on the metro, and it was like one of those, rush hour metros, like everybody side by side. And I was just shocked the fact that everybody was like, pushing, holding each other. Somebody was falling over, like, it's okay, don't worry, I'll help you up. If you were to touch somebody in Toronto, they're calling the police. They're freaking out. They're trying to understand what's going on, why you got their hands on you. Anyways, it was definitely one of my biggest culture shocks. And we are Russian USSR background, so for us, we're very huggy. We've got that whole Eastern European. We're very welcoming. We've got big celebrations. Lots of people come over all the time. So for me, it wasn't that crazy because I had it at home anyways. But having grown up in Canada where everybody's very standoffish and everybody's very much like, this is my personal space, do not touch me, it was definitely something that I had to get used to. But now that we've been living in it for the past 3 years, once again, would never go back because now that I think about it, that's just really weird. And the other thing that I wanted to speak about was the process of adaptation that happens when you move here. So I want to say that you go through like three stages. So the first is the honeymoon stage, where everything's new, you want to adventure, you want to see everything, everything's exciting. For me, that was about like the first 2 months. I was very, very much into it when I moved here permanently. It was, very exciting. I had everything to do on my own. I had to find things. I had to, meet new people. It was honestly just fun to do. About 2, 3 months later, a bit something I call relocation depression hit in, and I realized that, I was really alone, like genuinely, like all of my friends, my whole support system, everybody that I've known my entire life was 13 hours away from me. And I couldn't just call up people at random times of the day because, it's daytime for us, it's night time for them. So I can't contact certain people at certain times. I can't go and hug my mom when I'm having a bad day. I can't go annoy my sister when I'm feeling bored in my house. There's certain things that I couldn't do anymore. So I feel like at that point, it really, really hit me how far away I was because, you can text and call somebody on the phone, but it's not the same as having them physically there. So it does get hard for a little bit. And I think that the most important thing you can do is get out of the house and try to experience and make as many friends as you can, just so you don't push yourself deeper into that hole, because it can get really, really easy to, sit in your bed and just cry about it and be like, I made the worst mistake of my life. But you just have to get out of there, because after that, it gets so good. As soon as you find like a new beat to life, it's so much better, because you get to not only experience a new side of yourself, but also everything that this beautiful place has to offer. Yes, I know we talked about like the sidewalks and the competence when it comes to bureaucracy, but I feel like those things do not outweigh everything else that Greece has to offer. And you just have to, pick yourself up and do what you have to do, because it does get better. And the last thing that I wanted to kind of touch upon was how Greece has over the years obviously had some significant financial issues and economical issues throughout the years. They've been through some very, very terrible things, and I'm sorry to everybody who's had to live through that, because coming from Moldova myself, I know how it is. And but I'm so happy to see all of the new developments and everything that's been going on in Athens and south of Athens and in Greece in general lately. I think that this will be such a great thing for the country and for anybody who's thinking of coming here as well, just because everything is just going to be better, both financially and beauty wise. When you walk through the center, and instead of seeing broken down, abandoned buildings, you see these beautiful developments that are just like the things that they have in mind are beautiful. We know that there's a huge abandoned airport in near Glifada area, which is going to be the next Ellinikon project. I don't know if you guys have seen the developments for that. It is beautiful. Obviously, it's going to take some time, but I think that it's going to upstage the whole country and help locals and everybody who's interested in coming. And overall, I think that it's going to be a really, really, really great thing for Greece. So yeah, I think I've spoken about everything now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That was really great. Yeah, I learned a lot. But agreed, with you on the point that I think moving can be a lonely experience, especially without, having a support system. So it's really important that, we do events like this to feel supported, exchange advice and provide a community that's needed. Also, scams, I want to avoid that. So, yeah, that is something I'm hoping with our experts and professionals, scams will be avoided for anyone coming here. I want to make it transparent about how things work. Perfect.
Absolutely.
So before we go on to our last speaker, do you have a practical tip you want to give our community for anyone that's coming here and that wants to, overcome culture shock?
I think the most important thing is just to give yourself and your environment some time. I think that, adoption does take time, whether, whatever your issue may be, whether it's the move itself or anything. You just need to give it yourself some time and try to soak in as much as you can while you're here, because there's great things going on here. You just have to see them.